Welcome. This is Bridges Muchi Bakochola.
Prison quality human
as we build a sustainable environment for growth. In every society, daily living, there's always shortage of manpower for emergency and humanitarian services. These shortages are usually filled by community-minded persons who devote their time, energy, know-how, and even financial resources to serve humanity. In developed as well as developing countries, there's always room for willing citizens to volunteer to close these gaps that are needed, most times in emergencies, situations, sometimes at war times, sometimes even at the home front, where you really don't think about volunteering services helping to make life easier for people. So, well, some of these services include, people who will jump out, maybe work with the fire brigade in bringing water, coast guards, police services, traffic services, rescue missions, and even nurses and doctors. They do this on volunteering basis, and they all abound, maybe in silos, maybe together around the world. So our focus on this special edition of Bridges is looking at volunteerism. Is it an imperative for human development? How does it work? Who are the people that are doing it? They'll share the experiences with us. So welcome on Bridges. It is special. It is for you. Stay tuned. And I have volunteers with me on set today. We have been tracking what they've been doing in the ecosystem of cancer prevention, cancer treatment, and volunteering, particularly for the most vulnerable that most people don't even agree that such things exist. Children living with cancer. So we said we'll bring back the Okapi volunteers, and we have wonderful people, men, women, across board, across professions, who have volunteered their time, money, and resources to ensure that they bring some measure of succor to children and, of course, parents who also have to look after these special needs children. So our chief volunteer today on set is Kemi Adekoye. Kemi, you've been on set before. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
and
very
thank
much.
you for all that you do in that space to bring succor to children and parents.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you for having me.
Right.
Again.
And I have here, she happened to have been crowned just the year before as the Volunteer of the Year 2024. Chioma Ikechukwu Esquire is a lawyer, but she's also a volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
At some point, we are going to bring Lolo in. She's also a volunteer, and these people are doing so much for humanity, and they've earned their place on Bridges. So welcome. Now let's look. How would you define volunteerism?
For me, volunteerism is something that comes naturally. I don't think volunteerism is taught. I believe volunteerism involves being selfless in everything that one does, basically giving back to other people and giving back to yourself as well.
I like that. Give it back to yourself as well. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it actually does. Just as there is this last part, without expecting a reward,
Yeah.
is quite important because yes, you might have that zeal to give back and all. Meanwhile, at the back of your mind, you're actually expecting something material out of it. So it can't be volunteerism without that thought that yes, you're not expecting anything back.
I like that part. Volunteerism does not require that you start looking at, oh, what's in it for me? Because most times when you even go to people to say, please help, is that what is in it for me? What has been your experience? Let's share your experience.
A lot of people tend to think that as a volunteer, I call myself chief volunteer of Okapi Children Cancer Foundation, tend to think I get paid from it. And I have to answer that question a million and one times. I do not get paid, nothing financial, but personally, it's very fulfilling for me, helping those children, helping parents, helping families get back from cancer treatment, integrating them back into life, creating awareness. For me, that's enough fulfillment for me.
Yeah, and this came about how?
Okay, so I lost my brother to cancer in 2017. He was diagnosed in 2016, and he was a lover of children. During his diagnosis, before his death, he kept saying, "Thank God this is not my child going through this pain." And that's basically how it started. I started going from friend to friend, family. I'm sure I came to you once or twice, just basically asking for support for these children. At the time, I didn't even think of volunteerism. I didn't think it will be where we are today, but yes, here we are.
Yes, Choma. Yes. Let's hear from you. How has it been for you? Because I understand that for you, you do a lot of capacity building as even a volunteer. So how has it been for you?
Well, it's been great. Actually, it has developed me in ways I never knew was possible. And I actually, before now, I have this passion of helping others. So, but volunteerism wasn't actually a thing till I came down to Abuja. I came down to Abuja a few years back. So I started up volunteering. I got to know about it. Someone introduced me to Okapi Children Cancer Foundation, and it has been great ever since then. It has developed me in many ways.
Like,
Public speaking.
I was going to add that.
Before, I don't think before Okapi, I would have been sitting down here talking with the camera.
yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Even as we speak, you have like 1 million butterflies. Okay. Yeah.
But then it started. We normally go to schools. So one day the chief volunteer said, "Choma, get ready. You're taking up the sensitization for the day." I begged her. Actually, I almost bribed her, but she said no. There is nothing to it, and that was how it started. Ever since then, it has. Yeah, I'm not there yet, but I'm not where I was. So it has been great. You get to meet people that on a normal day, when you see them, you have to look for a shortcut to escape from them because you think that, what am I going to say to these people? But volunteering has exposed me to life. It has exposed me to things, even socially. It also develops your compassion for people. By the time you go to the hospital, you are seeing these kids, you appreciate life more. If you are complaining of not eating salad, you realize that that's the least of your problem. You appreciate life. You know that you don't have any problem, however, because by the time you see those children there, so even their parents, you try to put yourself in their shoes, and you realize that probably you wouldn't have been able to do what they are doing. So you appreciate life the more. You appreciate the little things that life has to offer to you. So it has been a great experience, and all thanks to Okapi children, because not all NGOs do that. So they just
So,
collect.
how many volunteers do you have? Still
Um,
counting.
At the moment, we have a database of about 90 volunteers. Yes, active volunteers. Yeah, I would say maybe about 30. Yeah, these are people that you can call at any time, and they're always there to support.
What are the challenges of being a volunteer?
Um,
Let's start from
Challenges.
Chioma this
Okay.
time. Chioma, tell us, what were the first challenges? Yes.
Okay, the challenge first of all was time management. When you have a life, you also have to volunteer. You want to give back 100%. You also have a life outside of the volunteering. So you just have to figure out a way to balance it. Also, emotionally, it has been quite, should I say, traumatizing because of the space we are in. It involves children. Now, sometimes you go to the hospital, you have to hide your emotions so that you don't upset the kids you are looking after. It's emotionally, I think that's actually the biggest challenge for me, because I tend to get emotional at a point. I'm just a big baby, so
Well, I must pray. I must praise. I mean, the strength of downsizing emotions that Kemi has put into this, coming from Bridges. Thank you for building that bridge of courage. But how's it been? How were you able to summon the emotions and bring volunteerism to focus?
It's been a journey. It's been a journey. Like she did mention about emotional breakdown. Sometimes I get what I would call a grief overload. But we have been able to, at Akapi Foundation, somehow separate well, not separate, you can't totally separate the emotions. I'll just give an example. So before we go to the hospitals on a regular basis, we have relationship with children. Sometimes, sadly, these children die, and it's very hard. So what we tend to do now is to have a relationship with the hospital, and we basically interact with the hospital directly. So personally, for me, I don't have that. I'm not emotionally in tune with the children, and that's for my own sanity, basically, because we've lost quite a number of children, and it was becoming a burden for me. It was getting to the point I was thinking of giving up totally, So we had to devise a means with support of the volunteers also. If you're stronger emotionally, you do the going to the hospital. I'll do the back end. I'll try and raise money. So basically, it's a division of labor kind of thing, and I think that's worked for us.
Yes. One thing, at the very beginning, we did speak, well, we didn't expand it, but we spoke to the fact that people are always asking, what is in it for me? Chioma, you've spoken about the fact that it has helped you in terms of your socialization. Resources, getting resources to be able to meet the demands that comes with volunteerism. How are people open to want to help?
Can I take that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think you don't have to have a lot to give. I have a volunteer on a database that gives 500 naira every month. To some people, it might be nothing, but for me, I find that the highest level of humanity. This guy is a security guard, but he every month he gives 500 naira to the foundation. I think that's a lot, and I respect him a lot for that. And I just feel like people always feel like they have to wait till they have so much to give back. It doesn't have to be that way. If it's in you, it's in you. As we say in Nigerian palace, if you day, you day. So you don't necessarily have to give in millions. You can give. You're calling us on here today is volunteerism, is humanity, because I know how much we'd have had to pay to be here. So I'd just like to say thank you, Ma, for always supporting and always lending your voice to this cause.
It is absolutely a commitment to humanity on Bridges, because what we try to do is build a sustainable bridge that will improve the society. Do you think volunteerism can improve the society, Chema?
Yes, it can. Actually, it can, because it brings communities together. You tend to go to communities, you see what's happening. If you are led and if you have the resources, you develop the community, you reach out to people. I think it's actually something that people should get to know about. And I don't think volunteerism is preached enough to the public, because before coming to Abuja, I never knew that it was a formal thing. Yes, I loved helping people and all, but I didn't know that there are actually platforms that people could actually volunteer for officially. So I think it's something that should be made, preached on more often, for people to get involved with. There are many people out there that are looking for things like that to participate in, but they don't have the opportunity.
So we should advocate for volunteerism. Well, the Nigerian national anthem says we are our brother's keeper. Does this kind of resonate into the kind of sustainable society that we are talking about?
Yes, I think generally Nigerians are good people. To be honest with you, I think the bulk of Nigerians are good people. The more we talk about volunteerism, the more we talk about selflessness, we'll see more people coming out. When we started volunteering, I think 3 years ago, we're just about 10 of us, just a group of friends, close friends. And now we have over 90 people, like I said earlier. I didn't know Chioma, 3, 4 years ago, and today she has become a part of my family as well as other volunteers at Akapi Children Cancer Foundation.
So is this something that we should drive? Both of you?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I agree.
Most definitely. A lot of people do not realize what volunteering does to you as a person, not even the people you're giving back to. I was talking to Chioma earlier, maybe she'll share their experience. She was saying when she used to practice law, how she'd get back home and she's crying because she didn't feel fulfilled, she was stressed. But living that, for her, that was earning her income, but it wasn't fulfilling to her soul. So volunteerism, maybe I should let her share that story herself.
Share it with us. Share with us.
Okay, why practice is quite a challenging job. So then it was more about bringing something back home to take care of the family. But there was no fulfillment. It was like there's this emptiness in you. Nothing is filling it up. But then when I started volunteering, mind you, it depends on where you're volunteering. Not every organization will give you that fulfillment because some tend to move away from their mission. But volunteering with Okapi gave me, there's this sense of fulfillment, like purpose. Wow, I'm doing something. Someone somewhere is smiling because of what I just did. And you are like, I'm responsible. No, this is my handwork. I'm responsible for this. I don't know how to explain
Yeah,
it. No,
you are. You're
it
doing good.
goes beyond the financial aspect. Like I have my business I'm doing, so by God's grace, money is coming in. But knowing that someone is happy somewhere, you made a difference. There is this joy. I can't really.
I can see it on your face, and I hope the camera is capturing too. I can
So
see it on your
it's
face.
very fulfilling. Like it's very, yes, it can be hectic, but knowing that you are not stressing for nothing, it's paying off somewhere, and it's not for your own purpose. Actually, it's not about bringing money. Someone somewhere is benefiting from it. It's something that
That
money
is the
cannot
word.
buy.
Somewhere, someplace is benefiting from your volunteerism. Well, we can go on and on about this. Can we, before we go on a break, just give me that word that makes you happy? Because forever Kemi is smiling in the face of it all. So, what's it? Share that with us before we take a break.
Peace. Honestly, volunteering gives me peace. It gives me peace knowing that I'm doing something good for humanity. And I know that somehow, someday, it will come back. It will come back.
I like that. I like that sense of hope. It will come back. Well, we'll be back. This is Bridges. We'll take a break. When we come, we'll bring you Lolo. Lolo is anxious to come on set. Welcome back. This is Bridges, and we are talking to humanity on this special edition, dissecting volunteerism. How does it impact on people's lives? We've had the volunteer of the year, and now we have a new person on set, Lolo. Malcolm, you're welcome. I hear that you enjoy volunteerism. Why? What gives you that joy?
It's been fulfilling. It's been sweet. It's been sour. We cry. We laugh. The emotions are just there. You know, I volunteer for a foundation that cares for children with cancer. Most of the time, we are in the hospital. We go, we see these children. You can imagine a child under chemo, how painful it is. We'll just be one side by the door watching these children go through that pains, struggle. We cry with their parents. We smile with them. Seeing those children coming around them, touching them, that sense of belonging, that smile goes a long way. Going back to your house, you feel complete. You feel you've accomplished something for the day.
What is needed to bring it to volunteerism?
You just have to be selfless. I think selflessness is the key word, because we've actually had volunteers who would come in, and if they don't feel that sense of fulfillment, or they don't feel like they're gaining anything financially, they tend to drop by along the way. But the ones we have now, I would say they are the absolute salt of the earth. They are absolutely wonderful people, ready to sacrifice. Lolo here, I was just asking her, how's your youngest child? I assumed the child was older. I said her youngest was 4. I'm like, so you left her to come in here this morning? I said, well, her husband is supportive. And I must add, I know Lolo's husband, every event we go to, he'll stay and wait for her, take her back. So he's also volunteering in a different kind of way. So selflessness and, belief
So,
in
what
hope.
kind of things can you volunteer to do, and that brings you that fulfillment that you're talking about, Lolo?
The timing is there. Your resources is there. Your whole emotion, your whole being is there. Just like now, I was supposed to be in my place of business. I'm out there. Yesterday, we went all the way to Niger State. The business was shut down. That was that selflessness. We were all through there. We were able to meet with a child, a survivor, a warrior. The scenario was just so fulfilling. We were in a school. Everybody was, wow, this is a survivor. This is a warrior. The mother was just so happy. It goes beyond expecting something in return. No, you don't need that. Once you are fulfilled, you are good.
I like that. Once you are fulfilled, you're good. Now, Okapi, serious. Yeah, that's what I say. How easy is it for people to come up and say, I want to be a volunteer? What are the things that you must bring to fore as the chief volunteer, to help ensure that volunteerism thrives within your space?
Okay, so I feel like at Okapi we're very playful. We're very joyful. We're all, in fact, some people will say we play too much, but but I know we play as much as we work. So usually, to be honest with you, I think some volunteers that actually come on, if you don't have a playful, happy spirit, it'll be hard for you to blend in. So that's one thing we do differently at Okapi. We tend to, we're a family, we're one. We attend each other's events and partying, and, even as we work, even as we touch lives. So that's one thing, people are always happy to be a part of us.
Let's talk about, because we also try. Do you do crowdfunding?
Yes, all
Because
our
how do you manage? How do you reach out? How are you able to provide service?
basic. You want to?
Yes.
Okay. We do write out to organizations. Above all, we have a charity shop.
Okay.
Most Saturdays, we are at Jabi Lake Mall, soliciting for funds. You give us something, we give you something as a gift or a token in return. So if you come to Jabi Lake Mall by 2 on Saturdays, you definitely meet our charity shop there. Then you can actually donate something.
And people are patronizing?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Because I was going to ask, how do you...
Oh yes, and people are willing to even give without getting anything in return.
Yes.
So I think the getting something back is just, we know you don't need these items, but we just still give you, at least so you have a souvenir from Okapi Children Cancer Foundation, and you've made a difference somewhere.
Would Okape collaborate with any other person, any other group? Are you ready?
Definitely.
Yes.
We're happy to work with anybody. It's not something one person can do on their own. So we're happy to work with any good-spirited individual or organization.
They said our time is almost up. So final word from you, Lolo. What would you say to Nigerians watching us?
Okay, Nigerians watching us, be selfless in what you're doing. Choose a particular organization or foundation to volunteer for. You will have that sense of fulfillment. In anything you do, just do it at ease. Enjoy the flow.
Enjoy the flow. I like that. So, Kevin, final word.
I would say be true to yourself. Like you said, volunteer for any organization you want to, any organization that makes you feel happy, anywhere you find fulfillment, please do it. And you might not get immediate returns, but eventually it will come back to you.
And what are these returns?
Happiness, peace, joy. Sometimes it might come in money form, but that's not the focus, obviously. But the peace that it brings, honestly, you cannot explain it.
And it's an ingredient for national building. Do you think so?
Definitely.
You think we need it in Nigeria?
Yes, we do need it.
Okay, I like the consensus that we sure need to be volunteers. And I want to go beyond, not just in terms of the sick, but of course the needy. And that friendliness, that smile, that well put together of you who comes across as a true Nigerian would go a long way to make our society sustainable. And more than anything else, happiness. Thank you. Thank you, Lolo.
Thank you, ma.
Yes. So that's all time will permit on Bridges today. Be a volunteer. We'll be back same time next week. Thanks for watching.